Nina's trying to make us delay the beginning of talking about a moment that I'm very excited to talk about, and it is our anniversary.
Yes.
Now,
Wow.
before
It
you
is our
think,
anniversary.
wow, Noah, way to make it about you and Nina, that's kind of corny. No, don't worry. So, what we did all day was watch movies, and we opened with Hellraiser 3,
Yes,
Right.
we did that.
Fun.
which was every time I watch Hellraiser 3, it reminds me where I stand on the should Hellraiser be considered part of the perfect duology of Hellraiser movies, or should it make it into a trilogy of Hellraiser movies? Because technically it's still connected to Hellraiser 2. It should not.
It should not.
It is a standalone Hellraiser.
Hellraiser 3, the one with lesbians, was
Oh.
fine.
Was that the tag?
Yeah.
It should have been, but it's hell on earth actually, because lesbians are hell on earth because the Lord Jesus
In a
Christ
cool
said
way.
no lesbians.
That's wild. I'm watching a show
Um,
right now that won't be named, but it's chock full of gays and lesbians.
Good.
Damn,
As it should
damn.
be. I'm watching another show that's, I think, different than the one you're talking about, that's chock full of gays and lesbians
However,
I think I know which one it is.
I'm also watching a show that's chock full of not lesbians but gays.
Nice, nice.
I watched a movie that's chock full of chopped people.
Was it Hellraiser 3, Hellworld?
Nope, it was Saw
It's Saw
5, 6,
5.
and 7.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
as well. So I think we
Okay,
actually have watched, since we last spoke, we've watched 3 through 7.
Wow.
No.
That's a lot.
No?
Did we
Well-
talk about 3 and 4 last time?
I don't
You know
think
what?
so.
We didn't talk. We were so busy talking about the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah, but we watched. Well, okay, I didn't actually care about 3 through 7 until we watched 5, 6, and 7.
So here's what happened. I managed to get Nina with Saw 3 being way better than Saw 2. It's
not
actually
hard.
like really, really way better than Saw 2. And
To be
I love
fair,
Saw 1.
Saw 2
but it's
sets
also
a
better than
very,
Saw 1.
very low bar.
It's a very mean-spirited Saw movie, yes.
Yeah,
it
easy to
is.
top.
It really is the low point for me, and it really gave me a bad idea of what was to come because I expected more of Saw 2 in perpetuity for the rest of the movies.
But Saw 3 was so middlingly better that Nina was
That
like,
I
well,
allowed Noah to put on the next one.
what if we watch
Oh,
Saw
that's a
4?
good way to describe
and
Saw
Saw
3.
4 is so goddamn boring. Saw 4 is
Saw
like
4, I was
it's like
zoned out.
okay, it's like 90% flashbacks, right? Because
Remind
it's
me.
trying to tie the ties together. I cannot remind you of what it is because I'm not going to lie to you. Watching 5 Saw movies over the course of 5 days has not done a lot for separating their plot lines.
Well,
in
but
my
like,
head.
well, sure,
I
understandable.
can probably
but like,
remind you.
Is it 3 or 4 that has slow ass motherfucking Jeff in it?
That's 3.
That's 3. Okay.
And
4
4.
is the one that occurs simultaneously with it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is what I want to say about the writer's strike. Because Saw 3 is 2006, but it's pretty clear that Saw 3 through 7 were all written around the same fucking time.
Right.
Because they happen over the course of like a week in world.
Yeah.
And I will say, having binged them all at once, they are actually impressively intricately written.
Mhm.
As far as things that I picked up on in Saw 5 that were big parts of Saw 6 that I don't think I was supposed to notice. Like, there's a character in Saw 5 who's a reporter that I noticed the camera lingering on a couple times, but nothing happened to her. In Saw 6, she's a semi-major character. And I was like, if I were seeing this once a year in theaters, I don't know if I would have remembered the camera lingering on her.
Saw 7, I think, isn't it?
6 was the one with the
Oh,
insurance
never mind.
company.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 6 is the one with the insurance company.
Oh, I
by the
loved
way.
that
Right, the
one.
insurance
Where they're
company.
like, the insurance is a scam and it sucks and people die because of greed, specifically to do with insurance companies. So we are going to kill this entire
Yeah.
insurance agency.
Nice
and
one,
I
John.
loved it.
Do colleges next.
Not
Hello, Berkeley.
Berkeley, the Institute. Anyway.
But
Anyway, you can, because of that, despite the fact that some of these movies came out in a time where they would have been affected by the writer's strike, it doesn't feel like that's a problem that these movies faced as much because they are very clearly from 3 knew everything that was going to happen, which is something that I really cannot say for a lot. We're watching Slashtober. We know this, especially with Nightmare. I'm noticing you really cannot say, oh, I feel like they planned out 4 whole movies.
They couldn't even plan
in
out
advance.
one whole movie.
Right? So I've gained a lot of respect for Saw as a franchise that I did not have previous to watching 5 through 7. 3 and 4 were fine, but 5 through 7, due to the setup in 3 and 4, I was like deeply invested for real. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I hate to say it, but I came in here to talk to Noah at one point, as I do, about like character analysis of certain characters, because I think 10, now that I've seen the others, expanded on some character stuff that makes events in 4 through 7 and 3 through 7 make more sense, which is insane to me that I'm saying that about the Saw franchise, but I am.
Is it?
Listeners,
Wait, hold
please
on.
note, I have the smuggest look on my face.
They do.
Is it seriously turning out that the Saw movies are actually good, like this whole time?
So,
Okay.
let me,
Okay, all right.
let me put a big asterisk.
Hold
right?
on.
Strong
there.
phrase there.
This is
all
the
right.
part of Nina that is speaking about Saw with admiration is the same part of Nina that really liked Sons of Anarchy and Lost.
Sure. Okay.
Don't put Lost.
Okay.
Okay, firstly, don't put Lost and Sons of Anarchy on the same thing.
No, but I like
Lost
the same
is
things about all
worlds
3.
better. Okay, but so
Wait. Which is better,
the
Lost or Sons of Anarchy? What do you think?
Lost.
by a
Okay.
lot,
Lost.
by a lot.
Not even
Gotcha.
close.
nowhere near each other. Sons of Anarchy is fun. Lost is good and fun. Anyway, so the fun thing about the Saw movies is you can tell they had, because as you watch these movies play out, they are 2 movies at once. One is the Hoffman side plot where he's the only surviving Jigsaw guy and he's weaving his way through things. And the other is the current events reflection, where it talks about current events and what is actively happening right now in the real world as close as they can. And that's where they put the traps. So
Yeah, it feels like they had in 2006 written out the entire soap opera part where like the surviving Jigsaw is trying to handle the fact that the founding Jigsaw is no longer around, right? That feels like it was all written out, and there was space left for timely traps that would reflect the current status of the real world.
example, the 2008-2009 financial crash being about greedy insurance companies who cut people that they don't think they can make money off of and essentially sign their death warrant.
Or mortgages. I think the first trap in that movie had to do with like predatory lending.
Yeah, predatory lending in the 2008, predatory and shitty insurance companies in 2009, people profiting on other people's sorrows in 2010.
Yeah, 2008 was also the one where they did real estate companies working with permit places to like kill homeless people to like be able to level buildings and stuff.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of like current event commentary in the Saw movies that you actually don't think about unless you think about what year the movies came out in, and that's why there's no consistent story in the Saw movies. No, it's just that Jigsaw, John Kramer himself is a really forward-thinking guy, and after his death planned out the toppling of every American institution.
Well, and that's why
Good.
Spiral bugged me when I first watched it, is because Spiral tries to comment on police brutality. And that one felt so on the nose, and I wonder if like, I don't think it's good, and I don't think it's going to age well. But then when we were watching the one that started with predatory lending in 2008, I was like,
they've always been like that.
If I were watching this in 2008, I think I would feel the same pit in my stomach annoyance that I did while watching Spiral.
Now, here's the thing. I think Spiral could have been saved if it wasn't Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock turned it into a farce. It didn't need to be a farce. But we're not talking about Spiral. We're talking about the fact that after we watched Saw 5, Nina was committed enough to the story that she said, hey, can we also watch Saw 6? And Saw 6 is easily the best of the original 7, maybe of the entire franchise.
6 was so good.
And it's
Okay.
really a shame that you can't watch Saw 6 on its own because
you will have no idea
it
what's
doesn't,
going
you
on.
don't care. You can kind of skip Saws 1 and 2, kind of, but you need to watch 3, 4, 5 into 6 to actually have the character arc make sense.
Right.
And then Saw 7, aka Saw 3D, is just weirdly sexist. And it's
Oh.
kind of a downer note to end the franchise on.
Huh.
Because it's like, well, where did this come from? You guys were running a really tight like script up until suddenly we add Pervy Cop and the opening trap being 2 dudes who had the same girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh,
about.
yeah,
I literally
remember
did.
that
I
one.
told
remember
Noah
thinking that was
Yeah.
so stupid. Yeah.
after that trap was over. I looked at Noah and I said, "I'm erasing that from my mind. That never happened." And I did. I
Mhm.
forgot that existed
many
until
Saw
you mentioned
fans-
that just now.
Many Saw fans agree just to not
It
act like that
makes
trap
no
never happened.
sense.
Well, right
No, it's
down
a
to
trap
the
that it happens in
specifics of,
public.
Like, yeah, right down to the fact that it happens in such a public place. Like that's not
really
Jigsaw's
feels-
move. It doesn't.
It
make
has nothing
sense.
to do with the rest of the plot. None of the characters have to do anything with anyone, which all of the other ones, the characters are integrated into the greater plot. Like they appear in all ways throughout the movies. There's recurring characters and stuff. But with the opening scene to that one specifically, that one just was clearly the opening trap, and then we're just like fucking off. We want to be wow, shocking, surprising, a public trap. That's so different. And then they like it has.
And then
no
they're like,
meaning.
okay, let's get back to the real story that we all know you're here
Yeah,
for.
you could have
The
just
guy
cut
who
it.
lied about being in a Jigsaw trap, so Jigsaw's like, hey, you lied about being in one of my traps, and I don't appreciate
It
that.
was so funny
Let's see how
because
you
from
like
the
it for
beginning,
real.
I was like, I don't think that would work. And so when it gets to the point where he has to do it for real, I love how snarky John is because he's like, as you well know, your pectoral muscles are definitely thick enough to hoist you up by your like with a hook through them. So yeah, I made the trap you described. It'll totally work just like you said, and it did.
Now that's John.
It was so
Everybody
good.
loves Kramer. John Kramer.
Anyway, it made me
Kramer, what's
like
going on
10
in there?
even more. in
It's your time
retrospect.
of reckoning, Jerry.
What else did we watch? We watched Hellraiser 3. We watched
The new VHS.
the new VHS, which
Hey,
is
VHS
not
85.
affected by the strike.
Yeah, indie
I don't
movie,
believe-
kind
Fuck
of.
yeah.
It's a bloody, disgusting movie, so I guess it's
It's
kind of
indie.
indie, right? It's a Shudder original.
Fun.
But yeah, VHS
I've
85.
Other publications discussing it, and they have like a disclaimer at the top that says they're within SAG guidelines and such. So I'm pretty sure it's all right.
That's what I assumed, but you know what they say about assuming.
Yeah, sometimes you're wrong.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what they say. That's the
Yep.
phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's actually what my coworker and I say because we're trying to avoid swearing on the clock. So we think it's really funny.
Couldn't be me.
85 was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think
yeah, I loved it.
I think it's my favorite VHS. Okay, that's really hard because I really liked 94.
94 is my favorite.
Good.
But
94,
this one had
85, 99
Yeah,
is my
absolutely.
like descending
Mm.
of the new trilogy.
of the new trilogy, the only trilogy, the trilogy I will actively recommend to people.
It's pretty great that you can actually ignore the first 3 VHS movies and pretend
Completely.
that they started with this new reboot of the franchise that's
Mhm.
actually good.
I would watch VHS too, regardless, personally. But
2 is fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still with my friend Alan, who said Lion King was the best VHS movie.
Damn.
I thought yeah.
I
wait, I
agree.
thought his name
I
was.
thut his name was Adam.
I'm
Okay,
starting to
good.
think
It's
you don't have this friend
Alan.
at all.
It was a typo.
Sure.
I thought it was Adam because I remember distinctly being like, oh, like the guy in Saw.
I don't know
yeah,
who
I had that thought
is.
as well. Good for you. Yeah, no, I really liked it. There was a fun Black Phone tie-in that I didn't expect.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
neat.
And
fun.
a lot of the shorts were just like perfect for what they were.
Yeah.
So I think I just have a more like emotional connection to 94. Some of the shorts in 94 I like just
Yeah.
they appeal to me specifically.
Yeah.
But Other than that, yeah, definitely one I'd recommend. I think that's
Nice.
it for our ghouls,
So-
though.
Before either you gab a ghoul, I just a quick question: is anyone trying to do the 31 horror movies in October thing?
No.
No, it didn't even occur to me to attempt that, actually.
See, I wasn't going to until I realized I'm currently one movie behind to be up to date. So I'm gonna try and do it, and I
That's
will report back in as we
crazy.
go.
Is there
could
like
never.
a list?
Oh no,
Or is it just
there's
watch
probably
any
a list.
31 horror movies? If you
I
send
am-
me a list of 31 horror movies, Noah, I will watch them with you.
Yeah, let me just send you my current Letterboxd diary. You can catch up on these.
Okay, so you're one ahead of me because you watched The Village without me.
I did, yeah.
But
Oh,
if
how
I
was
watched two,
It is better than I remember it being, because you remember watching it growing up, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is better than my memory of it sits.
Okay.
That being said, it pisses me off with its inherent point, and
Mhm.
because of that, I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay. I mean, complicated feelings is better than a flat negative, which is honestly
Yeah.
kind of more what I was expecting. So,
7 stars. I think it's good, right? But like, there's good, and then there's like good.
right.
And with a lot of here's my issue with M. Night Shyamalan, right?
Sure.
A lot of his movies are him trying to be a little bit too smart because he became known as the twist guy.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
his twists are good sometimes. And
Yeah.
then other times his twists suck ass.
Yeah.
And this isn't a twist that sucks ass. It's more of there's like I have a moral issue with some of the elements of the story,
Mhm.
which is it's just about the rich people angle. And it's I don't know, it's a cool thing, but it just makes me think about like weirdo Christian isolationists.
Mm.
And that makes me really, really dislike the story.
Yeah.
see, I haven't seen it, but I know the twist, and I feel like if done right, it's the kind of story that could critique those things. Where
Right.
like the real horror is that your parents felt comfortable separating you from society like that.
Right.
But
yeah.
that doesn't seem to be what Shyamalan was going for from everyone I've heard talk about the movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I've never once heard someone read it like that.
No,
Yeah.
okay. If you don't want spoilers for The Village 2004, fast forward about 15 seconds.
It has been
At the end of the
19
movie,
years.
there's a moment where they leave the compound looking for medication, and there's a this is the director cameo, right? Where he's sitting there reading a newspaper, and it's just like terrible things happening every day, people dying, babies eaten by dingoes, and it's just like, damn, this world really does suck. So the weirdo billionaire isolationists were right.
Ugh.
Yeah. So fun.
yeah.
My least favorite M. Night Shyamalan twist was in The Last Airbender, where the twist was that it was bad.
Mm.
Yeah.
The twist
That's not a
was it
good
was
twist. I
actually
don't know why he would
unfortunately a
put that in.
licensed movie.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about a thing that I'm doing this month.
Yes.
What would that be?
So I've gotten close to a streamer and her partner over the past few months. And we've gotten to be friends and hanging out and doing all the stuff, and it's cool. But they play like horror games together all the time, but they're constantly like, we hate horror movies. Like we don't like them. We've never had a horror movie that we liked and all this stuff, and they'll just trash horror movies. And I'm like, I will find horror movies for you that you all would enjoy. Like, I guarantee I can find horror movies that you'll like.
right. Like, there's got to be
And I was like,
something.
please just give me a chance. And so I sent them a list of 4 like beginner friendly horror movies that I thought would be like good, and then I'm letting them pick. And so some of these I feel like are super light on the horror, and I acknowledge that, but I just, as an introduction, just to like whet their palate, you know?
Sure.
So the first option I gave them is Coraline, which is a fantastic movie.
A classic.
Not very horror-y, but it has that like creepy factor,
Sure.
and feel like it could be a good intro. Next is Bodies, 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 movie I
Fun.
love.
Very
Such a
fun,
fun
very fun.
movie. Great time. Next is Nope. I also would have been like Get Out is super great as well, but because we're talking about doing this, it's like a watch party in their server, and I was like, Get Out is really good, but there's so much like racial dynamics and
It's
history
heavy.
to it that it might not be the best for like a watch party.
Right.
So Nope is fun, pretty light on the horror, I would say, but still a great time. And then the last one was The Cabin in the Woods, which is, I feel like the one with like the most upfront kind of like traditional horror elements that people will think of when they think of a horror movie, where it has that at
And it's saying
the
that the whole
beginning.
time too.
Yeah, and it's kind of like parroting itself, and it's still like fun, and like the balance is great, and it's just a fantastic movie.
I guess.
So I pitched these as options. They're gonna pick one for me, and then we're gonna do like a watch party later this month, and I will report back and let you all know how it went.
Neat.
That sounds really fun. Please do.
Yeah.
I'm like tentatively trying to find Emma a list of 31 movies, and this is the most insane list I've
Yeah,
found.
it's got Ginger Snaps, Creep Show, and Apostle on it. And it's like, those are all good movies.
Dracula 2000,
That's not
Those
a
are
good
some
Weird
movie
good
from what I hear.
things.
Prince of Darkness. It's got a sick ass face melting picture on the front here. The next one,
Oh,
Gravity
Prince of
Falls,
Darkness,
Northwest
the-
Mansion Mystery.
The John Carpenter
Nor-
Prince of Darkness?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have an episode of Gravity Falls, which is the horror episode TM of Gravity Falls.
But that's an episode
But
of Gravity
why?
Falls.
Yeah.
And then it follows it with the Scooby-Doo Project.
The Blair Witch parody that Scooby-Doo did.
Scooby-Doo got extremely
good.
dark for a few years in the early 2000s.
No, it didn't.
This is
Shut up.
incredible. I'm looking forward
Witches,
to this
Ghosts, and
list.
Zombie Island.
Yeah, I think you should
But then
just...
it also has this other one pop in, which from my quick glancing, do you know Salome? Saloum.
Saloum.
Um,
I've heard it's good.
It seems like a wild, like, whiplash moment
Yeah.
from the Scooby-Doo Project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it has the Skinamarink short, Heck,
Yeah, so,
which I still haven't finished.
This is-
I put it on, but then I got distracted.
Just swinging hard in every direction, huh? Is Return
It
of the
is,
Living
yeah.
Dead on there? 'Cause
Again,
it should
Apostle
be.
was on this
not,
list.
Well, not yet. It's only up to day 12 because it's giving you a new movie to watch every single day.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
this
It
is
is
good,
updating on a
actually.
daily basis.
Got
Well, I
it.
do
Which-
want to rewatch
it's,
Apostle.
It's the Polygon one, so if you want to look it up and keep up to date with yourself, feel free. I'm not going to check back in with
I'm
this because
probably
this
not
is
gonna,
an
but-
insane list to look at. I'm kind of more looking for like a bingo sheet for someone to share.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I love a bingo sheet.
Bingo sheets are fun.
Little like
That's why people play bingo, I think.
probably
For the sheet.
a little like what's the Christmas calendar? It's full of candy. You open up a new
Advent
box every
calendar?
day.
Advent
An advent
calendar.
calendar of horror movies is what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
Okay.
Anyway, Jeff, did you watch anything this week?
Yeah, I watched VHS 85, and we just already talked about that. I want to say I watched something else between the last recording of the podcast and this one, but full disclosure for our listeners, it hasn't been all that long, so I don't think I did, actually.
Yeah, the fact that Nina and I knocked out 5 movies in there is a testament to us sitting down
were
and going,
really
ha
pushing
ha
for
ha
that,
ha, let's
yeah.
go. Yeah, well, I mean, watching 4 movies on our anniversary really is what did it for us.
That was a nice day. We also made jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah,
We did.
Yeah.
I think I shared them in the server.
you did.
Did I
yeah.
share them
You
in
shared
the
them in
server?
my
You
server.
shared
I
them
didn't share
somewhere
them
that
in
I
this
saw
server.
them. You should put them into this server, though, because
I should.
the people deserve it. Noah doesn't care about you like I do.
This is Jeff propaganda.
Yes. Yes, it is. You don't know how much Jeff propaganda I put into these things.
No, that's true. You edit this. You can do whatever you want.
I can do almost anything I want.
I never listen back, so I don't know that every single time I talk, it's just a little monotone robot voice
It's-
going, remember, Jeff's segment of the podcast coming soon. Jeff will return to the podcast in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
It's just a countdown to the next time I talk.
until- Welcome back to Casual Obsession, the horror movie podcast where we talk about horror movies. As you all know, it's Slashtober, and you know what that means. It means I'm joined with Jeff,
Heidi ho.
Emma,
Heidi ho.
Nina,
Heidi ho.
and Freddy Krueger. Give him a hand. Everyone give Freddy a hand.
Heidi-ho.
Yeah, Freddy.
Heidi-ho,
Freddy. Okay, get out, Freddy. You crossed the line there. That's unacceptable. Saying it once is one thing. Doing it twice.
Freddy Krueger is comically pulled off stage by a hooked cane.
It's a
Just
cane
that
that actually
whistle
has
noise
that.
as it happens.
It has the Freddy worm mouth on it, and it just grabs him and drags him away.
Yeah.
Does Freddy become a
Yeah.
worm?
Spoilers for maybe the next one. I thought it happened already. I thought it was the last movie.
Wait, shit! I know this one. That's what happens in God Emperor of Elm Street, right?
Yes, God Emperor of Elm Street.
God.
Yeah.
I think that's actually like comparing Dune to Nightmare is not an unwarranted comparison.
It's just a thing that
Uh,
happens
after
with
his-
every series
you
that goes
mean-
on long enough. Eventually, a main character will turn into a giant worm. You know, it happens to Freddy.
Yeah,
it happens
it's
to
the
Jason.
law of-
it happens
of wormodynamics.
To Leto Atreides. Like it's just
Jason
it's a
turns
thing
into
that
well,
happens.
a worm?
I said it's the law of wormodynamics.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Oh my
See, I
god,
was-
that's so funny, Nina.
Thank you.
I was gonna make a different, better joke, which
Oh,
was
yeah, what's
about
that?
how once the dad, in this case, it's what's his ass who did the first movie, Wes Craven.
Oh, right.
After Wes Craven leaves the series, and his kid, quote unquote, takes over the
Rennie
studio,
Harlin? Oh.
and they just kind of like do whatever they want with it and ruin it,
Oh.
just like Frank Herbert's kid just did whatever the hell he wanted to with Dune.
Oh, I was gonna make a different and way better joke where I was gonna say, it's the law of wormodynamics.
Oh, that's really good. I like that a lot.
That's
Damn.
hilarious. I don't know.
You should have said that
joke's ever been
sooner
made
so that I
before.
couldn't have, so that I wouldn't have even said anything.
Dang.
Oh my god. Welcome to Casual Session.
It's
everyone.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. 4
Four.
years of Slashtober. So
Yeah.
let's do a quick emotional condition check-in. How's everyone feeling?
Awful.
It's
These
Nightmare
movies
4.
aren't getting better, are they?
No, that's the funny thing,
Well,
right?
Nightmare was the best one, but it's plateaued now, and
Many people think Nightmare 3 is the best one.
Yeah.
I
think it
regret
is.
to say it literally is all downhill from here until we hit New Nightmare, which is
Yeah.
going to be like
The
year
Scream
7 of the
isn't
podcast.
New Nightmare the Scream of Nightmare?
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
it's the Scream proof of concept.
We can just move away from Nightmare on Elm Street, right? We can do a
Here's the
different
thing.
movie.
We're just
As
moving
much
away
as the
from
Nightmare
all
of Elm-
slashers at the same time.
As much as all the Nightmare lore pisses me off, I really do love making people sit down and die inside as they try to make a brand new spiritual reason why Freddy is the way he is.
Yeah, because I was talking to Noah about this. Two things that really bug me about the Nightmare franchise that I couldn't have predicted after watching the first one. One, every movie we come up with a new foolproof way to definitely kill Freddy because it has something to do with some mythic thing
Or
Yeah.
Catholicism.
or Catholicism, and it will definitely 100%
Nina
work
said
this
mythic
time.
thing.
Yeah.
Freddy is especially weak to the Catholics, though.
Yeah,
Which
so
made-
true.
Honestly,
Except
I'm sorry,
when he
Nina. I
isn't.
had
that's-
to make that joke dunking on religion
No,
real quick.
we have. I
Ka-dunk.
support it fully.
Big buzzer noise. But it's the good buzzer, not
the
the,
good
bad
kind
buzzer.
of buzzer, like ding 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 ding. And then extremely loud correct bell versus extremely loud wrong buzzer.
I was thinking extremely loud basketball buzzer.
I was thinking
Oh.
extremely loud law of wormodynamics.
Oh my god. Anyway,
It gets
that's
funnier every
the-
time you say it.
That's the first, and only you have ever said it.
Right.
The first time, that's the first thing that was annoying. The second thing that's annoying is directly tied to it, which is because we definitely killed him last time, which means these survivors are definitely going to live. When we have a new movie, that simultaneously means he isn't dead, but they are. And I'm sick of that. It makes it impossible to care about any of these characters because I know that they're going to have a triumphant third act. And then in the next movie, in the first 5 minutes, our stakes building is going to be offing the previous survivors.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
spoil anything, but don't you worry, not a single Elm Street movie has recurring characters after this.
Oh, good. See, this
What
is one of
about
the things that I
worse,
love
at
about
least?
Jason, though, is he gets killed in just like another regular way every movie. They don't have to
Yeah,
come
they're
up
like,
with a new
oh, we
thing.
hit
It's
him on the
just
head
normal
with a
shit.
big ol' anvil and he had a big boom boom,
Well, my
bump
favorite
come
thing
up,
about
and he fell over.
my favorite thing about Michael is either we don't know where he is at the end of each movie. He just kind of got away.
Yeah.
Or he's in jail again, and that can only last for so long.
Yeah.
So he actually only goes to jail once.
Oh.
He goes to hell a few times though.
Multiple times? Does he turn into a
Michael
worm?
goes to hell. Wait,
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
hold
I was
on,
thinking
let's-
of Jason again.
Noah's like, I'm always thinking of Jason.
Aren't we all?
Jason.
Are there any slasher movies that are like
Good?
the
No.
killer is in jail and just kills a bunch of prisoners and guards and things?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
I would like
There's-
to see that with Michael Myers.
There's
know?
at
I
least-
actually think there is one.
There's at least 2 Slayer music videos that do that, but
yeah.
I want to say I know of a movie that's like that, actually.
There are
let's do a
5
quick hour
minutes
and a
of
half
Malignant
podcast.
that are like that.
An hour and a half podcast about 2 Slayer music videos.
I mean, yeah, why not? One of them's got Danny Trejo.
Oh,
that's
of
good
course.
credits.
That's
Of course
repentance,
they'd
right?
have Danny's Trejo.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Danny. God, you know, we went off the rail even quicker on this episode than last one. And I
feel like we won't have
You know-
too much to talk about with this movie.
Yeah, not only
so
have we
here's the
not
thing.
hit ratings, we haven't hit critical reception, we haven't even hit a non-spoiler synopsis yet. And we're
Exactly.
already
So I'm gonna-
losing it.
I'm going to jump into that non-spoiler synopsis. You ready?
yeah.
Hit us.
Buckle your shits. Here we
My
go.
shit is buckled.
In
I
a
don't
dir-
have any shit to buckle. Do we gotta start over?
because you
pause?
interrupted me. You got
If you don't buckle it, it will get ejected from the vehicle. Do you want that?
No,
If
I'm
you know what I
buckling it
mean.
now. God.
All right. So in a direct sequel to Nightmare 3, we get a recast Kristen who's really, really worried about Freddy coming back. Returning cool dudes Kincaid and Joey tell her to
Hell
shut up
yeah.
and stop worrying, but she literally thinks about Freddy so hard she brings him back to life.
It kind of seems like that's what happens.
And that's how
little
I
bit.
read the movie, at least. You know, like she's
That
like,
does
I just
seem
feel
to
like
be-
Freddy's coming back. And it's like, yeah, because you keep thinking about him. You keep going back to his
Oh,
house
so would that
and
mean
poking the
then-
boiler
The boys
room.
do
From
tell
here
her
on
that,
out-
yeah.
Does that mean then that from here on out it's not original Freddy, but the reason he's different now from how he was in previous movies is that like this is the Freddy that she made up?
You flanderized Freddy, who's actually
Oh my
like
god,
jokey.
she flanderized him.
She flanderized Freddy. I mean, he gets way flanderized here in later movies.
I've
Don't
seen
you
Freddy
worry.
versus
We
Jason,
still
but-
haven't hit Power Glove Freddy.
Oh god, that's right.
Anyway,
Now I'm playing with power, bitch.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
Almost exact quote. But
I'm so
we're
sick
not
of
here to
this,
talk
man.
about, I think that's Nightmare 6. We're here to talk about this one and the critical numbers here. IMDb, we got a 5.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, a 53%. Metacritic, a 53%.
All right.
And Letterboxd, a 2.7 out of 5, which is a 54%.
wow,
Whoa.
this is incredibly consistent.
very-
We got
Consistent.
this is the, you know, Dead and Lovely. Shout out Dead and Lovely. Hi, Dead and Lovely. They call Autopsy of Jane Doe the most 5 out of 10 movie ever. But clearly the critical reception is this is the
We've
most
got
5
some
out of 10
peer-reviewed
movie.
evidence here saying that this is the 5est 5.
And one of my favorite peer reviewers, Twitter Brandon, is
Oh.
here to weigh in on this one.
hoping
Hi,
for
Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi,
You're
Brandon.
not Ebert.
No,
Brandon.
Ebert. I did try. I was even looking for video, but I couldn't find
Oh my
anything.
god,
Good
Brandon
for Roger
also
that he
gave
didn't
this a
watch it.
5.
Brandon gave this a
Brandon
5 out
gave
of
it a
10.
Oh my god. Wow.
Let's see. He says, I always forget how disappointing this one is, especially after how great 1 through 3 are. This is the weakest cast of the first 4, and our most interesting characters are killed right in the beginning.
Well, that's
some great
true.
set pieces, most notably the waterbed death and the Roach Motel, but largely forgettable.
Is this guy just echoing all of my opinions? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I don't want to agree with him on this
finally.
many things.
Finally, Brandon and I are like,
Wow.
it's every once in a while. Brandon and I are like DNA. We're like winding around each other. You know?
I don't think that's I
Yeah.
don't think that's true.
Yeah, it is.
No,
That
no,
seems like
you
a really
and Brandon
homoerotic
are
thing
like-
to say about another person, honestly.
Yeah, no.
I'm so glad he doesn't
You and
listen
I
to
are
this
intertwined
podcast.
with one another.
Hi, Brandon.
destined
Hi,
to
Twitter
dance
Brandon.
forever. Like,
Hi, Twitter
You know-
Brandon. Don't listen to me. I don't like you, especially not like that.
That's such a mean thing to say
Wow.
about my Twitter friend, Twitter Brandon. The only reason I go back to Twitter.
Said with love. I don't actually.
I'm looking
Anyway-
forward to
that
when he
much.
eventually becomes Bluesky Brandon.
He's
Because
on Blueski, and
alliteration.
he will someday become Blueski Brandon, but he doesn't post there until a lot. He'll come back, I'm sure, when Twitter actually kicks the big one.
Sure.
But he hops between them both. Anyway, I'd like to hear, before I give my very thought out and conscious rating of this movie, I want to hear what y'all have to say.
It's a 5.
And we're going to start with the top of the Discord call and go down, since no one was answering
I
until
said it's a
Nina, who I
5.
interrupted. So Nina gives it a 5.
I give it a 5.
Would you like to
Sure.
elaborate on your 5? The most 5 out of 10 movie ever?
Yeah, I like some of the kills a lot. I found them really fun. I like the air suck out of and the Roach Motel.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the characters I actually cared about, notably Rick and Debbie, and that's it. Everyone else was there, and I was bored.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Emma, top of the Discord call to you. It's up for you.
I would just like to say I had my number picked before joining the call to record this episode. This is hard to rate because I liked the characters of Friday the 13th 4 or whichever one we just watched
Right.
Mm-hmm.
better than the characters in this movie. And I thought it was better written.
I
But-
have to lightly agree.
but the like, and I gave that like a 2.5 or something, I think.
That's
Um,
Yeah.
You gave it a 2.5.
But like the effects on this movie are really good.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And like Nina said, there's some good kills,
The kills are creative.
and like Freddy's got some good zingers.
He's got some
that I
bad ones
kind of
as well
laughed at.
to balance them out. I
Got
think.
some bad
There's
ones
one-
too, for sure.
Oh yeah, honestly, Freddy's groaners are almost as good as his good ones if
There's-
you're in the right mood.
There is one really good sequence in this movie that takes it from like a 3 to a 5 for me that we'll talk about after spoilers.
It's the same.
Yeah.
That like
castle.
actually it actually caught me off guard and brought me back into the movie from where I'd kind of just been like passively paying attention. But then after that sequence was over, I was like, oh, we're going
Yeah.
back to the
I'm
huge.
pretty sure I know which one you're talking about.
Jeff knows.
But yeah, so it's like on a story level, I enjoyed it less than Friday the 13th Part 4,
Which, frankly,
Oof.
which is wild.
embarrassing.
Which is wild.
Yeah, really.
But the effects are really good, and so I was like, I'll probably just give it a 5, and that's where I'm at.
That is so fair. That is so fair. Jeff, how about you?
Okay, so here's the thing about this. I don't know. I know that this will likely not mean anything to Emma, because Emma doesn't know about something that I'm about to talk about here, but I know that it will mean something to both Noah and Nina. This movie is directed by Rennie Harlin. Do you guys remember Rennie Harlin?
If I don't, I will
This
in
is
a
the
minute
guy-
after I Google him.
This is the guy who directed The Covenant.
Oh my
Oh.
god, for real?
This is the guy who directed Deep Blue Sea. And this is a guy who, in more recent years, directed a movie called The Misfits, which has Pierce Brosnan in it. And boy, howdy, let me tell you what, when I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is Pierce Brosnan doing in here other than the worst performance I've ever seen from
Die
him?
Hard 2?
That's right. This man's got a history of making movies
Wait
that
a
I
minute.
fucking hate, that I keep watching by accident or because people direct me to them. So he is my nemesis. And because of that, I cannot give this movie a good rating because it's been directed by my nemesis, Rennie Harlin.
Oh my
That
god.
said, the movie's like, fine. It's like my second favorite movie of his that I've watched, I think. Maybe. I would probably rewatch The Covenant more readily than this, and I would definitely rewatch
I
Deep
would.
Blue Sea more readily than I would The Covenant. So I guess this ranks about third in my hierarchy of his movies.
I'd watch The Covenant any day
He
because
did The Devil's
Well, because it's
Pass?
ridiculous.
it's
an absurd
ridiculous. It's so dorky and in a very charming way.
It's trying so hard to be Twilight and Harry Potter at the same time, and
Noah
it
is just
fails
about
so
to
bad,
name
it just
movies
face plants, like
nobody has seen with increasingly shocked tone.
hit me with a couple of
He-
titles here.
like, he-
Okay, so I confused Cliffhanger with a similar plot-lined Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh, sure.
But,
he
like-
directed Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did.
Die Hard
Hard.
2. Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Like these are not like unheard of movies.
Well, sure, but if
He
you
did
watch
Legend
Deep Blue
of
Sea,
Hercules.
Deep Blue Sea is stupid as hell. Oh my god.
They're not spoken of in a good way.
No, they're
either.
not. But like,
No, they're just known.
Anyway,
So all of that, basically, as usual, Emma, you said that you already had your number picked. I didn't, because I almost never have a number picked when we come in here, because I don't really think of movie quality in terms of numbers unless we're literally just picking numbers for the podcast purposes. So like, for anyone wondering if I stand by any of my previous ratings on other movies, probably not. The one thing about me is I'm constantly changing my mind about everything. So like, my numerical ratings are almost meaningless. But this movie, this is 5 as hell, right? Like, I think everybody on Earth is right.
okay, so this is gonna be really, really funny.
Yeah.
So, firstly,
I already know where this is going.
I've been desperate to find a movie that this man has made that I could slip in as a future movie.
Oh.
I'm just like looking through his like filmography, and I honestly think that there's like
You
two
know what?
here
I
that
knew
we could
referring to
probably
this guy
hit.
as my nemesis would only lead to problems. Because now you're just
We could
gonna
watch The
make me
Covenant.
watch his movies. Yeah, I'll cover The Covenant. I don't care. Yeah.
yeah, we could
We can
cover
do
the
that.
Covenant.
He has
We
an
should cover
Exorcist
Deep Blue
movie.
Sea
Like,
in the
there's-
future.
No.
There's crazy. Yeah, Emma hates sharks. Fuck you, Jeff.
Okay, but
What about
like,
Hot
the
Witch
sharks in this
Boys?
movie
We can
look
do the
terrible.
Covenant.
Anyway, but like,
I am gunning
Okay.
hard because Carly said she'd guessed if we did the
Oh
Covenant.
fuck
Let me
yes, I
give
want
you-
Carly on this show.
okay, let me get back to my rating. No spoilers about the
Hi,
Covenant,
Carly.
whether it may or may not happen. Hi, Carly.
Hi, Carly.
My old rating for this movie was 5 out of 10. When I watched this last, I put it at a 5 out of 10.
Wow.
My new rating, after getting specifically pissed off at the boring as shit Final Freddy fight, is 4 out of 10.
Wow.
This is, it's easy. I think it's easier to get us all to 10-star a movie than it is for all of us to agree that a movie is mid as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually one of us has strong feelings about a movie. But...
I want to give this a 5-star honorarily just because we're all like right here, but I just literally what Emma said about enjoying elements of the other movie more.
Yeah.
After when I rated this and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know that I had as much fun as I had with the final Jason circuit, which I understand is Emma's least favorite part of the last movie. So that's fine.
The Final Freddy
But
circuit
I
is always so
rated-
much less fun than a final Jason circuit, though.
because
right?
because
Well, Friday 4, I rated 5 stars. I'm like, these are not the same in my mind.
Right.
And while Friday should probably get bumped lower on a technical aspect, I enjoyed Freddy so little here that, like, because I'm angry at Freddy, because I know he can be better, he lost
Freddy's
a
just
half
not
star
applying
just for
himself
that.
in this.
Yeah.
He's not.
Robert Englund, if you're out there, we know you can do better. We're not mad. We're disappointed.
He knows that too. But
He
yeah,
can do worse
so that's,
too, and he does frequently.
he
and good for
can
him.
and he will.
So yeah, damn. I'm so glad we all came in here and we're just like,
Yeah, yeah.
with our
I
we
loved it. 10
with our
out of 10.
chest. Don't lie to me, Emma. Oh, so content warnings. Because this is the middest nightmare, we only have a couple things. We have just the normal Freddy being a perv shit.
Sure.
We got some body horror in this one, which is not.
It's in there. A
It's
little.
not normal, but it's not super common. And specifically, this one also has some bug stuff.
Yeah.
It's
little-
Kafkaesque, you might say.
Kafka-esque. But, that's, I don't know. I don't even have a good segue into asking Emma the scary rating. I usually like really try and do it but it's just not coming to me today. This movie didn't earn
Yeah,
a
we're
good
known
segue.
for good segues into the scary rating segment. Yeah, that always
Smooth
happens.
segues at the very least. Maybe not a good one,
The
but
best
like an
ones.
intentional one. The
I
best
demand
segue.
a good segue.
And I demand a scary rating. There we go.
Thank you, Nina.
I demand a law of wormodynamics.
I think that I don't like bug stuff. So I feel like
It is gross.
that's influencing me quite a bit here.
The bug stuff was intense.
it's nasty as
it
shit,
was, It was pretty
actually.
It's
good.
convincing.
That
Yeah,
might have been
it was
that
really gross.
that specific scene and other elements we will get to of it is what brings us up from like a 3 to a 5 for me.
Yeah.
Oh, just that. Ooh.
For that
Oh well, that
for that
other
pretty
stuff
much
too.
alone, as well as there's some creepy body horror stuff with the ending that I think because of those two things, I'm gonna give it like a 2.5.
Okay.
Honestly, I really think that like if you're not a child, this movie isn't scary.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like if you're a person who's going to watch horror movies anyway, because like if you're gonna watch these movies, you already know who Freddy is. Freddy conceptually probably isn't gonna scare you. The scary bit is gonna be the bug stuff. Like, oh, the dream guy gonna get me in my dreams.
Yeah.
Old pizza face is back. Yeah, no.
Whole pizza
Yellow
face.
goo
Pizza
coming out of the Roach
face.
Motel. That's gross. Old pizza face.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The slime is really what sells.
It's
it.
just it's a slimy movie.
It gets
It
a
is
little.
It's not the
slimy.
slimiest
It's a slimy
nightmare,
movie.
but it is a slimy nightmare.
Freddy's not as dry as he looked in a certain earlier installment.
Any of the earlier installments.
I mean, he's got some like pus and such in the first one. He's pretty gross in that one.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
he's
I
damp in
miss
that.
a lot in this movie. I found myself really missing a lot of the energy that Freddy came in with in the first movie. The way he kind of like shows up and just starts doing shit. You know, he's doing the
That
long
is a
arms thing.
problem
He's
with
chopping
this
his fingers
movie.
off. You know,
Yeah.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He just.
he's not fucking around.
No.
He's just finding out.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a couple times in this movie where it looks like he's trying to fuck.
That's true.
Hey yo.
Hey, yo.
So here's our little spoiler synopsis. You may remember that we had some returning characters, right?
The Return of the King.
Well, Freddy comes back. The Return of the Kincaid. Well, don't worry though. Freddy comes back and he makes real short work of all the returning cast. So let me introduce you to the new crowd. We've got Ricky. He was dating Kristen till she, died. And he loves karate. We've got Alice. She's Ricky's brother and does these little like oh yeah, shit. Have a sec. We got Alice. She's Ricky's sister, and she does these little daydreams that for Freddy's technicalities count as real dreams. She also works at a diner. We've got Debbie. She's Exercise Girl, and she also works at the diner. We've got Sheila. She's a nerd with asthma, and she knows stuff.
And that's her entire
We've got-
personality is nerd with asthma.
And then we got Dan. He's a wooga hunk guy.
I guess. He's also
that's the cast.
He's also the classic Nightmare on Elm Street dumb jock TM. Because I tell you what, I swear no series does dumb jock characters like Nightmare on Elm Street. This man is
Honestly,
stupid as shit.
You copy paste
Oh my
this
God.
man into the first one where we got, babe, don't let me fall asleep. Oh, don't worry, I'll stay up all.
Yeah.
You're like,
Whoa.
he's a
or-
classic boyfriend.
I feel like you'd be putting him in
Classic.
over like Rod, the musician type from the first one.
Mhm.
Because he's more the
Yeah.
dumb jock character. But like, boy, Elm Street movies just have the dumbest jocks, don't they?
they really got the dumbest jocks. But there's our new cast. They're the only people you need to care about.
I mean,
And
Kristen,
don't you worry, you don't need to care about them that long. Because Kristen, like,
She survives until like the
doesn't-
halfway point of the movie, just about.
That's the thing, right? Like, Kristen does survive for a chunk of the movie.
Only to
But
die,
she-
though. Like,
She just dies really unceremoniously. She starts to have a bad Freddy dream when she realizes her friends died. And she's like, oh my God. And she kind of like tries to call Alice on the phone and then just mumbles something because her mom drugged her to make her fall asleep. Because every Nightmare on Elm Street parent loves to dangerously drug their children with sleeping meds.
you mean you don't?
But well, I mean, you know. So she ends up falling asleep as she goes, oh, dream me up somewhere nice. And she ends up dying on a beach instead of dying in the boiler room.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, she dies in the boiler room, but she starts on a beach, and that's what counts. We get Freddy in sunglasses, and I remember him being in a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, that would.
I'm trying to remember which Nightmare movie he's in a Hawaiian shirt because it's such a clean memory. It has to exist.
I mean, we also remember Cthulhu's ass. So
Nina's on the floor, but says we also remember Cthulhu's ass from Shape of Water, and that wasn't
Shape
true
of
either.
Water?
Oh,
No, I
not
saw
from
Shape of Water. It's got some sea monster ass in it. I'm pretty
What's
sure.
Underwater. Same. I'm on a roll tonight. Just shut up and let me talk.
Okay.
After Kristen dies, Alice realizes that she absorbed Kristen's ability to bring people into her dreams. And when I say that, I mean every time someone dies, she steals a part of who they are. And she also gets she picks up some of their catchphrases or physical traits or their habits. She also picks up Kristen's bangs and hairstyle.
Did she not have bangs before?
I don't think she did. I think her entire hairstyle changed because it was kind of damp and red at the beginning of the movie.
Pull it up and
then it turned fluffier and had bangs. Maybe she just learned how to style her hair from Kristen and she always had bangs. Regardless, though, it's a real classic Freddy from here on out because he got once again, the last of the Elm Street kids. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want more souls. And he sees Alice as his ticket to getting a couple extra people. So Freddy enters Alice's dreams and daydreams because once again, her little daydreams where she thinks, wouldn't it be cool if I told my dad to fuck off? That's an actual for real dream, not her just imagining.
Well, that's why it's
very,
called a
very
daydream,
important.
Not a
Exactly.
else.
And Freddy has to have been a lawyer before he was a burnout janitor because he loves his technicalities. If the word dream is there, Freddy is there. So let's see. What he does is he'll enter her dream and he'll scare the shit out of her. And she goes, oh no, help, and drags one of her friends into the dream with her. And he's like, okay, cool, you snooze, you lose, knocks her out of the dream, kills her friend. And then obviously, if it happens in Freddy dream, it happens in real life. So Alice keeps getting more and more guilt because she is the one pulling her friends and eventually family into her dreams to try and save her. And because of that, and they are not ready, Freddy keeps killing them. So the good news for her, though, is the more of her friends die, the more powerful she becomes because she gets a share of the soul. I don't know, some timeshare thing she has going with Freddy about, I bring you souls, you give me 10% kind of thing. So eventually enough of her friends have died that Alice is like, I'm done with this. I'm going to stop Freddy. And unfortunately for us, the viewers, the ignored unto this moment title of the movie comes into play in the disappointing final fight. I have been intentionally not talking about this because I hate it.
It's dumb.
It's a thing that the Elm Street movies do, right? Where they love to have a classroom scene where the most boring person you've ever heard goes, Aristotle thought that when you dream, the soul leaves your body and explores through the different dream gates, which were guarded by the Dream Master, a good gate and a bad gate. Yes, Jeff?
That's Bob Shea.
Of course it's Bob Shea.
Yeah.
Bob Shea sucks, man. He's the one that made all the worst decisions in Elm Street 1 and all the other Elm Streets.
Seems that way. Yeah.
He also plays himself in New Nightmare, so
Well, that makes
that's
sense.
cool. But anyway, it's a classic Elm Street. They introduce something, and that's what this movie's about. It happens way more in the future Elm Streets than it does in these earlier ones. But there's just, for some reason, someone's teaching a college-level philosophy class as a history class. And they're like, now, the ancient theologians hypothesized about a being in your dreams that could control things. Dream walkers, as we called them, could control their dreams. Shit like that, right? But don't you worry, it's fucking for real.
Every time.
And there's fucking hell. Okay, so
You're just getting so exhausted.
the movie's
so
good when Noah
angry.
gets angry during the synopsis.
see, I should stand during my synopses more often because, frankly, I'm more invested when I'm standing because I can do the hand motions and I feel like I'm.
Yeah, I was
in
about to
it,
say, I
right?
think it's just because your hand gestures have gotten so exaggerated now.
Anyway,
It's because he's Italian.
let me get back to my notes. I scripted this whole thing out and I've gone off script so much. let's see, in a disappointing final fight, in a really cheeseball change to the "Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep" rhyme, changed to be something about the Dream Master. It's "Now I lay me down to sleep, the master of dreams, my soul to keep."
Yeah.
And then there's something I didn't write down because it pissed me off so much.
It's stupid.
Um,
It flies
but
out
it
of your
was
brain because it's
something-
so dumb.
It was something about because Alice has been trying over the course of the movie to remember God's most basic nursery rhyme. But of course she can't remember it because it was made up for the movie to be about a dream master. And there's a point earlier, right, where Kristen's just like, "Wow, Alice, how do you know so much about dreams?" Because and then Alice is like, "When all you have are dreams, you get pretty good at it." What do you mean?
Well, also, Kristen says this on the heels of Alice saying, like, literally just two incredibly basic things about dreams.
Yeah, that they like boil down to, I can lucid dream sometimes.
And dreams aren't real, you know.
Dreams aren't real.
And that's
They're
the
my
whole
escape
thing.
from reality.
And Kristen's like, how do
oh
you
my
know
God.
so much? Oh my God.
Yeah, Kristen's just like, no, dreams are so real, actually. Freddie. Anyway, so the line of the nursery rhyme that Alice remembers at the end of the movie is something like stupid bullshit about make evil see itself reflected something, and it will destroy itself because it realizes it's evil, you know. So she
Yeah.
picks up a little shard from they were in like a stained glass church.
And the
to
stained
fight
glass
Freddy at
window
the end,
after
right?
breaking turned into a mirror for some reason.
Yeah, and she picks it up and she shows it to Freddy and she's like, "Ha ha!" And Freddy's like, "Oh, I'm so ugly," and disappears.
Yeah.
And finally, again, defeating Freddy for the last LOL time, Alice hangs out with her only surviving friend, Hunky Dan. And she tosses a little coin into the fountain as let's make a wish. And in the reflection in the water for a second, you can see Freddy until the coin hits and he vanishes, which is actually kind of a cool little
It's a fun
effect that they
shot.
did there. But then Freddy disappears and he's not in the reflection anymore. So clearly it wasn't him. We didn't get the little nightmare sting with Freddy going in the background. So he must be dead this time.
Yeah.
And the credits scene,
that's-
bitch.
End credit 4.
But then
end
there's
credit
the
4,
after credit scene.
where Freddy is sitting in his little boiler room hell diner.
And then Dr. Loomis
And
shows up.
Eating
Dr.
a
Loomis
shawarma
shows up.
with
Yeah, eating
a
Dr.
shawarma, yeah.
Loomis and
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 Jason.
Dr. Loomis comes
You know
up and he's
Jason
like,
destroys
"Would you
the
like to
shawarma.
put down a being of pure evil?" And then Freddy says, "Shut up, bitch." And they all laugh really obviously, except for Jason, of course, who's just sitting there like a statue. And
Yeah.
then
Eating his
it
shawarma.
hard cuts to a pop cover of the Nightmare on Elm Street theme.
Yeah.
What's the
It's
Nightmare on
rad.
Elm Street theme?
Do 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 do.
Oh, yeah, I guess
yeah,
there's
you know.
that.
I always notice the soundtracks to these movies having like a consistent tone, a consistent like sonic palette to them, right? But
And it's Dawkins.
I never remember a specific like piece or a melody or anything, so you know.
Yeah, there
it's-
was some
it's
song
not
at the
nearly
beginning of
as,
this that also pissed me off about running for your life in your dreams or something.
Oh fuck! Oh my god, the song in the opening credits. Do you know who
Yeah.
sings that song?
It's not Dawkins. That's
It's
about all I got.
actress Tuesday Knight, who plays the
Oh, who
character
played
of
Kristen.
Kristen.
In this one.
Yeah.
Oh, she had a
Oh.
band. Good for her.
I don't know that she had a band. I just know that she's
She
the
did.
one
No,
who
she
sang
did.
that
She had a
song.
music career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, who's this new person? She kind of looks like the girl from Freaky.
Yeah. A little bit.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
No.
No, that she was not in Freaky.
But yeah, enough that I was like, are they related? So I looked it up. They're not, but I did find a lot of other information.
That's fun. Well, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. What was everyone's favorite Freddy line? The favorite Freddy Zinger. Our segment is Freddy Zingers, where we go through all
had
of our
one.
favorite zingers from the movie
Mine.
that we just watched. I'm going first,
Okay.
so no one else can steal mine.
That's smart.
Mine was, how's this for a wet dream?
Fuck, that was mine.
That's really good.
It's his only good line in the
It's the
movie.
best one. It's the best one.
Mine was what a suck face.
Want to suck face? And then she's like, no. And then immediately the vacuum turns on.
My favorite part was when the vacuum noise came on as he kissed her.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember any of his zingers now.
Okay.
Because once again, end of the movie pissed me off so much where he's just like acting like he's an eternal being, and while fighting Alice, he makes an offhand comment about, you think you could defeat me? I've been guarding this door longer than you could know, or something like that. Or guarding this gate, the dream gate, the
dream
positive
gate.
and negative dream gate. You all remember
He's the
that from Bob
dreamster.
Shays' class. He's the dreamster, old Dreamo. And yeah, that pissed me off so much again. That line and then the little nursery rhyme are the reason that this movie got docked an entire half star on Letterboxd.
Yeah, it's bad. It's got a lot to detract
Yeah,
from
because
it.
this is the thing, is like Rick and Dan are talking about how Fred Krueger is just a dude and they remember all this stuff. And then he's like, I'm the Dream Master. And it's like, you are just a man. It is the polar opposite of watching Hellraiser 3 and having this man named fucking Elliot be like, I'm Hellraiser for real. And I'm like, what? Like, I know that you're Pinhead, and I know what that whole deal is. I know, like, there's an evil part of you and a human part of you. I got that. It is so underwhelming to have Doug Bradley in no makeup be like, it's me, Pinhead.
It's me, the Hellraiser.
Which is the opposite effect to this one, where we have man who is just a dude who got burnt to shit being like, I am eternal, and it's like, no, you're not.
I
You've
cannot
been
stress
dead for
enough.
like 10 years.
I can't stress enough that Freddy Krueger is just a dude from Ohio.
He's literally from
Canonically,
Ohio. Yeah,
he's
like,
from
yeah.
Ohio.
Come
He's
on.
just a guy.
Noah, I think I've got some suggestions for you of
Oh,
best
please.
Freddy, your favorite Freddy lines from this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's Sayonara, Rick-san. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, what about
Yeah, that
what
did
about
happen.
though in the surgery scene when what's his face wakes up and he goes Krueger, and Freddy Krueger rips off his surgical mask and says, "Well, it ain't Dr.
What?
Seuss."
That was my next one I was going to mention.
That one, I actually did like that one. That was really pretty good.
But like everyone knows, Dr. Seuss wasn't even a doctor. Like the line is nothing. It's
He wasn't?
oh my god, no. No, actually, Dr. Seuss was a giant worm.
Oh my god. This just falls right into the laws of wormodynamics.
Somebody should invent that.
Can I talk about something?
Wait, were there any other good Freddy lines?
Nope.
Yeah.
What about the part where he's about to eat somebody's soul and he says, "I love soul food," but this is like his fourth joke that he's made about the same pizza.
Yeah.
One of those previous 3 jokes that he made, you could go for that.
I don't remember
True.
the other 3 because they were
No.
just so boring.
They were terrible.
It
It's a dumb
arrives
scene.
at the table and he says something like, I love deep dish or something like that.
I love
That's
a
a
good
flat
pizza, bitch. Like,
I,
yeah.
I don't know what he says. I wasn't
don't
paying
fucking
attention.
know. I don't give a shit.
I was mad.
I swear to God, I remember him saying something about a Rick ball, but I don't want to
Oh,
think
yeah,
about
he's-
it.
Said,
because the-
Rick, you little meatball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I want to talk about.
I've got the quotes up.
I want to talk about
perfect,
3
good.
things.
Yeah.
The first thing, I liked Rick. I felt bad for him. The scenes of him mourning people and people mourning him and his friendships with people, I liked him as a character. I was sad when he died. Go
Honestly,
ahead.
greatest scene in cinematic history is him just punching air for like 5 minutes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it was so good. It like in a bad way. Second thing, Debbie is my favorite, and I'm diagnosing her with bisexual because who works out to that music and is straight?
Oh, yeah. I was about to say me, but then you said is straight. Well, no.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it fits. It all fits.
And then 3, I would love to talk about the scene that made me tune back into the movie.
So true, and it's the beach scene.
No, it's
That's
not.
right. Shark Freddy, and then Land Shark Freddy, and then fuck that Sandcastle Freddy.
Yeah, he really
and then
hates
we got
that
Chill
sandcastle.
Times Freddy with the sunglasses.
Anyway,
Great scene.
A Freddy
Great
for all
scene.
occasions.
Made the movie worth
Nina,
watching.
go for it.
I am gonna scream if we talk about the beach anymore because that was such a nothing scene. I did
No, that's
not
about
care
all I
about
have to
it.
say
Best
about
part of the
Um,
movie.
So I really enjoyed the use of tension and cuts in the scene where Debbie is turning into a bug, and that's incredibly disturbing and fun to watch. And then it cuts, and Alice says, "We've got to go now. I'll drive," and gets in the truck with Dan, and they drive,
Yeah.
and we cut back to Debbie turning into a bug, which is very disturbing, and then we cut back to Alice and Dan, and Alice says, "We've got to go now. I'll drive," and they get in the truck.
Yeah.
And the first time it happened, it was like the fucking Salt and Pepper Diner bit with John Mulaney, where I'm like, I think I've seen this scene
Yeah.
before. And that was really good. The fact that they didn't like clue you into it happening, the fact that it just keeps cutting back to the death scene like nothing weird is going on, it was genuinely like really fun and made me be like, oh fuck, is what I think is happening actually happening? Because if so, that'll be cool. And it is. And it fits. It's the only interesting thing, like, in my opinion, that is done with the concept of dreams and unreality in this Nightmare movie. In the previous movies, that's been my favorite part, is the are we in a dream, are we in reality, kind of like fading in and out stuff. In this one, it's pretty obvious because every time they go into the dream, Freddy's like, hardy har, we're in a dream, bitch. Oh, learning is fun with Freddy. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed that segment, and it was really unique and fun, especially for a movie that was released in like '88. Loved it. Wish that the rest of the movie had been better.
4 years after Friday 4.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
And yet the movie as a whole
R.I.P.
manages to be a little bit less fun, dare I say?
Yeah.
It's so funny just thinking about how much the first Elm Street shook up the slasher genre.
Yeah.
And then from then on out, they really just like didn't.
Yeah. We're done innovating, they said.
No more.
Well, I mean, what it is New Line said, hey, Wes Craven, we're going to stop asking you to write the script because you wrote a script for Nightmare on Elm Street #4 that we didn't like, so we went to somebody else. But then we didn't like what they gave us, so we went to you for rewrites, and then you said to shove it because we should have gone to you first. And you were right to say that, Wes, actually. But then we ended up with a movie that sucked because you weren't involved. And...
Yeah, everything that Wes touched was like really strong, and everything that they did that he wasn't directly involved with Freddy was really washed.
Yeah. Apparently, his original idea for this movie involved time traveling through dreams somehow.
God damn it, Wes.
Good old time travel.
I take back.
Yeah, and
almost.
basically New
We're
Line...
Avengers Endgaming this.
Yeah, basically New Line said, we don't like that, so we're going to go to somebody else. And then they received a script that they weren't happy with, so they went back to Wes Craven and, what's his name, Bruce Wagner, his co-writer for the Elm Street movies. And basically they said, no, we won't do rewrites on your bullshit script because you didn't want our original script. And if you don't want us to be writing the thing, then you don't want us to be writing the thing. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, I just had a great idea though. I've flipped on the time travel thing because I just
good.
imagined Freddy Krueger in Roman Legion armor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, Noah's hit his one Roman Empire of the day quota.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Okay, what about like Freddy during the Crusades? And he's like, Deus Vult, bitch, you know?
He
That'd been
he
great.
could do that.
I
I like the
this.
idea of, because just Freddy through the ages, Freddy is King Arthur.
Freddy kills
Um,
JFK.
Yeah, this could be great. But no, they were too afraid
They were.
to give Freddy time travel abilities. And frankly, they should be too afraid to let him time travel.
True.
I want to see what that movie would have looked like, honestly. I'm just curious. It wouldn't be worse. I mean,
I mean, there's a whole 4 numbers below 5. It could have definitely been worse.
Well, but
I
what's
was
the
getting
likelihood, though?
My thing is, I hate time travel, so
Well, it's because you haven't seen Freddy
Yeah.
do it.
It's definitely different when Freddy does it.
Can I just say, I really wish in Kristen's dream when she was at the beach, I wish that the little girl, because you know how like a couple scenes earlier, Freddy was copying the Joker and dressed as like a nurse,
Right.
to torment whoever.
Mhm.
And then in Kristen's dream, there was the little girl making the sand castle.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really wish the little girl was just Freddy.
Everyone in the
And
dreams are played
no-
by Freddy.
Yeah, nobody like acknowledges that it's Freddy. It's just Freddy dressed up
Making a sandcastle.
as like a little kid making a sandcastle. I thought that would have been really funny.
What's your name? Alice.
Oh, hey, did we ever figure out why the fuck the little girl's name was Alice?
I thought the
it was
implication
just a
was that it
dream
was
thing.
Alice.
But it wasn't.
Was
There was
it?
also old Alice at the diner.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
I
think
forgot.
it was just like little
no, but old
connections
Alice
of
at the-
Alice being special.
Okay, so here's
Old Alice at the diner was a nightmare.
Also, if I had a nickel for every time that I saw a character named Alice seeing a younger and older version of herself in the past month, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it is weird that it
Resident
happened twice.
Evil.
apparently the little girl in the dream, little young Alice in the dream, is played by the same girl who played a little girl in Kristen's dreams in the previous movie.
Oh, that makes
Yeah, it's the Elm
sense.
Street girls. You
Interesting.
can't cast those to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Was it ever explained why? I mean, maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but
Well, I think it's
was it explained or is it ever explained why Alice got everybody's powers?
No.
as
No,
she-
they don't even
as
really
they
make an
died?
attempt.
Because
to-
she's so good at dreaming.
Yeah,
Well,
she's just better at
it's-
dreaming than us.
There's like, I mean, with the pictures on the mirror and stuff, it kind of feels like a lot of the implication for why she beats Freddy, why she's able to beat Freddy, is that her daydreaming habit, like, kind of has given her a greater degree of experience controlling a dream scenario than the average person, right? But it has sort of weakened her in a different way by making her less anchored to reality. And then, like, as her friends die off and she takes their pictures, like, down off of the mirror and she's able to actually see her reflection more, it kind of feels like the movie's indicating that, like, she becomes stronger as she becomes more rooted in true reality, and it's the combination of that and her daydreaming experience that makes her strong enough to defeat Freddy. But none of that explains why she would be absorbing parts of her friends after they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
That do be weird.
no sense. I've said everything that I have to say about this movie.
So maybe I'm misremembering, but like in the other movies, when you were wounded in a dream, didn't it show up in real life?
did, yes.
Or
Yes.
and then it doesn't in this movie.
It does,
does.
when Kincaid's dog,
Sometimes.
Jason, bites Kristen. She has a bite on her arm in real life. But then other times stuff happens in the dreams and it doesn't carry over to real life, so it's just become inconsistent, basically.
Jeff, it's a dream, okay? It's not real.
Oh, it's not that deep. My bad.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying, right? Especially since they draw attention to the fact that Jason bit her in the dream and it's not just Freddy that can hurt people. And then they don't have Alice get consistently hurt.
Yeah.
I did.
all weird.
I do love the loop moment. The loop moment.
The
was
loop
fun,
moment
though.
is fun. I think we need to discuss the elephant in the room, and that's Freddy's resurrection scene, which I'm a big fan
Oh.
of because I like a resurrection scene in general. I always think it's disappointing when a character gets resurrected off screen. It's one of my biggest problems with things like,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, 13 Ghosts, the Bible, that kind of thing.
Emperor Palpatine is back.
Somehow,
Somehow
Jesus is
Palpatine returned. I am going to make that meme. I'm going to put it in my Tumblr queue for next Easter.
Okay.
I'm doing it now.
I
That's really
enjoy the flow of Freddy's resurrection scene in this. I think it's fun. But it gets kicked off by Jason, Kincaid's dog, pissing fire on his gravesite.
It does do that, yeah.
And then the pit of hell opens up beneath Jason, and Jason bravely barks at it. And then Freddy resurrects. Like,
As you do.
apparently, later on, Rennie Harlan has alleged that this is a reference to the, like, dog pissing fire thing is supposed to indicate, like, a hellhound somehow, and it's supposed to indicate something about, like, you know, Freddy being, like, a demon of some sort or something like that.
That's dumb.
But there is also
Here's
a
my
story.
theory.
Hold on, though. There is also a story of a time when, during the making of this movie, Rennie Harlan ran into James fucking Cameron. And James Cameron said, "Oh, hey, you're working on that Nightmare on Elm Street movie, huh? How does Freddy come back in this one?" And Rennie Harlan, like, jokingly said, "Dog pisses on him."
That's grade A humor.
Right?
You know, here's
Noah's getting mad again.
sometimes you need to have people who treat a story with the levity it needs, because let's be real, Freddy Krueger being the weirdo that kills people in dreams is a funny concept when you take a step back,
Sure.
right?
So why not make him be
he's
a
a
piss
quippy
boy?
guy. But then at the same time, sometimes you need to treat the story with enough respect to make it a good movie.
That's like a big thing with this one is like, in this, Freddy is just a
Piss boy.
dad joke killer, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does kill it
Um,
at the dad jokes.
He has like no character other than that.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice to have a little bit of character depth, even just like two pages thin of character depth for the main villain. That would have been
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But instead, it's just him going around saying zingy one-liners and killing you.
I'll take the blue plate special, bitch. I love
But
soul
here's-
food.
I need to say
Here's
something.
my theory about the dog.
Go ahead. You go with the dog first,
Yeah.
and then I'll say
The
the
dog's name is Jason.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday the 13th, the killer's name is Jason.
Oh, shit, it
Oh
is.
my
Oh
God.
Yeah.
shit!
Obviously, the dog's name is a reference because the dog is the soul of Jason transported through time travel to another universe, in which his soul materialized as a dog. And then, because he's evil, he was able to pee the hellfire onto Freddy's body.
I was so
Yeah.
excited for about 3 seconds because I thought maybe Jason Goes to Hell happened before this movie. But it does not, unfortunately.
Yeah, what?
Damn.
This would be contemporary with what? Jason
Jason goes to Manhattan.
Jason
No,
takes Manhattan, right? Yeah, like that's
was
what I thought.
89, yeah.
That was 89. Oh, so that would be the next year after this. So it's what? Just part 8 then?
Maybe they heard that Jason Goes to Hell was happening, and they were like, tie-in.
I think
People
they had
also
an
ask,
idea
why
that
does Jason go to Manhattan?
that's a good question to take it.
Off topic. Easter Sunday is in March in 2024.
Oh.
Huh.
March 31st, the last day of
Damn.
March.
Wow.
Why? Why is that? When does Easter happen? What the
I thought
fuck
it-
is going on?
I thought Easter had to happen on a Sunday in April. I thought that was like a thing.
That's what I thought too.
It's a full moon thing.
It's a lunar calendar
it?
thing?
Yeah, that's why it changes all the time.
I thought
I
it was
thought that was
just
just because it had to be on a
number of
Sunday.
days from.
No, it's a lunar calendar deal.
Oh.
No, it's not a certain number of days from fucking. Is it a certain
Ash
number of days from
Wednesday.
fucking Ash Wednesday and
I
Lent?
thought it was.
I
That
know
would
that
make
sometimes
sense.
it coincides with Passover, but it doesn't always.
I'm gonna Google it. You all keep.
Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood is a contemporary, by the way.
Oh, it is a lunar calendar thing. What the fuck?
Yeah, lunar calendar. See, I know things sometimes.
Huh.
The first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox.
Mm-hmm.
Whack.
Pretty great.
Well,
That's
either way,
confusing.
I'm queuing up posting this meme.
Somehow
Yeah, it's
Jesus
great.
returned.
I love it.
Thanks.
Name it
I'm
and
so
claim it.
funny. I am. I don't have to because Tumblr has this thing called a schedule, so I don't have to think about it. It's gonna be a surprise to me too. I'm gonna have totally forgotten.
Yeah,
this
you're gonna
shit.
see it. And
So
you're gonna be like,
anyway,
"Oh my god, somehow
talking
this
about
meme
Nightmare.
returned."
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I wish that we
You
had
know, I dragged us
more
back for no
Freddy
reason.
in this one, and I wish that we had
Yeah.
more Kincaid. Because
More Kincaid, yes.
we will never
100%.
have enough of that man.
Kincaid is the strongest character in this movie,
Yeah.
and he could have been our main character, and I would have been. You know what? Maybe he doesn't have main character energy. Maybe he's better as a
He
sidekick.
has an Ellen Ripley
But-
flavor of main character energy where it's just, I am so angry about people throwing off my groove, you know? Like, that's his entire character.
Mhm.
I'm sorry you
Yeah.
threw off Kincaid's groove.
Sorry, bitch.
But you know, like there is a better movie where Kincaid was around for all of it, and I would have liked to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say about this movie.
Yeah, I can think of a
know,
handful of
it's-
little, like, character things that I enjoy.
Um,
But
Oh, Jeff.
My only other note was ew bug arms, which
Yes.
I thought
pretty
her doing like the bench press and then her elbows like her arms breaking and then like ripping off and bug arms. That was all very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
That was really good.
Easily the
I didn't
standout
like
kill of
that.
the movie.
Yeah.
Jeff, yesterday you said to me that there was something you were wondering if I'd notice in this movie.
Oh.
And I don't think that I did.
it
What
was
was it?
Rennie Harlan.
Oh, it was Rennie
That's what I was
Harlan.
referring
Okay.
to when I said that, yeah.
Okay. I just
I was
wanted to make
wondering
sure
if
that
it
we
was
didn't
the-
miss that.
The
Cool.
Kafka-esque joke is what I thought it might have been.
No,
Rennie
it
Harlan's
wasn't
way
that.
better.
Okay, then
Yeah, it was
I
just
don't have
the fact
anything
that
else
it's
to
Rennie
add.
Harlan.
Your nemesis.
Right.
We all have to have nemesis.
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 Yeah. Nina has Twitter
Nemesis.
I
Brandon.
have Twitter Brandon. Hi, Twitter Brandon.
I have Rennie Harlan.
You don't get to say hi to Twitter Brandon.
Who's Noah's nemesis?
I don't have one.
Yet.
Hmm.
What about Emma's
Have to
nemesis?
have
Probably
one.
me, actually.
My dad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Your man. I was gonna say your nemesis spelt with Emma in it, but that just I can only get one good joke a day, and I used it with Wormodynamics.
That was my
No,
joke.
that was Jeff.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You
Jeff
can't
said
just steal
that.
Jeff's
You
joke
can't
like that.
steal Wormodynamics from me.
Nina, you can't just say the joke louder a little bit later and expect us all to believe it was you.
Man, you're really lucky that I am who I am.
A joke stealer? I don't know if I am.
I want everyone here to know that the very first time that I guested on Noah's other podcast, it was a couple days before my birthday that the episode would be released. And if you listen to the episode, you hear Noah say, yeah, we're going to release it on like December 10th. And then you hear me go, happy birthday to me. And they keep talking over me. And I go slightly quieter, happy birthday to me. And it's pathetic. And I feel like that was such a strong indicator of what was to come. And I did not look at that red flag.
Yeah, I found it during the editing and I felt so fucking bad.
Good, you should.
I've weaponized that specific kind of energy ever since.
So good.
But yeah, no. Wormodynamics. It's been nice talking about this movie with you all, kind
Has
of.
it?
No.
Man, this is...
You know what I think a big problem?
They get better after this in the sense that they get more fun.
You just said that they get worse. Hold on.
But they do get worse.
Like
Well,
an
that's
hour
the thing
ago
is they
you said
get
this,
worse
but-
because there's more and more shitty Freddy lore that they shovel into here, like with Mountains of Manure.
Of course.
But they're also more fun to watch, kind of. But
At the Mountains of Manure
God.
was my favorite John Carpenter movie.
And that's a wrap, ladies and
In the Mouth of
gentlemen.
Madness.
Wait,
That's
we
the name
need
of
Noah's
it.
notes.
Oh, Noah's
yeah,
fucking
we didn't read
notes.
any of Noah's fucking
we
All
haven't
right,
yet.
Noah's notes. Noah's
Can't-
notes.
we
I'm
can't
coming.
call it done.
You know,
coming
one other thing
over.
that
I was
think-
ready to wrap.
Something else that I think is missing from this movie is the dad. Elm Street parents are always like such a particular type, right? The dad in this movie is not nearly off the wall enough.
No, he actually cares about his kids.
A
He just
little.
happens to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He's not even wearing Vans.
Yeah. Why isn't he
Was-
wearing Vans?
No, okay, Noah
What?
says.
So the joke there was Vans's slogan is
Warped
Vans off the
Tour.
wall.
Oh, right.
Noah's notes. Noah says, oh, so we're getting like the whole song.
Yeah. That's how that sequence feels, yeah.
Noah says, it's a shame you kind of know the main reason this intro exists is just to tell us that this is a recast of our heroine from the last movie. I would not have known.
That's
I
the
would not
entire
have even
junkyard
noticed.
scene. Where they're like, don't worry, Kristen from the last movie. In the last movie, we killed Freddy, and Freddy is dead from the last movie that we were both in, so
you
he's
were
not
there.
coming back.
and you were totally there for the whole thing. Noah says, there's Dan Jordan. Normal ass man.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
He gets introduced with the phrase "Major League Hunk," and then you
He's
look at him,
fine.
it's like, well, that's
That's
a
a
guy
man.
in a jacket.
He's much taller than Rick. I will give
is
him
tall. He is
that.
taller.
When you put
and
the
his
two
hair
next to
does
each other,
look a little better, cleaner at least.
His hair.
but I think they made
He looks
Rick
less
look
like
the
a
way
nu
that
metal
he
kid.
does, so that Dan looks better.
Perhaps.
Yeah, probably.
Noah says, I don't know who
There's
this
a lot
is
of-
referring to.
Robert Englund in drag. That's when he was dressed up as the nurse. That was Robert Englund in drag.
Oh.
Yeah. He stole that from the Joker.
Yeah, when he was
in the-
like,
in
"I'm a
the
dog
Dark Knight.
chasing cars, bitch."
Yeah.
I would like to see more horror villains in drag, but not in the 80s transphobic way.
Oh, I was gonna say you got Leatherface.
Yeah.
Not
The 70s
in the
transphobic way. Hey.
Yeah. I like drag. I just want to see more good drag. I want to see more Ursulas out there.
I have two really pissed off notes in a row.
What are the? Here
Only
we go.
two?
Noah says.
No,
Noah says.
Oh, yeah, that one as well.
Noah says. Now I lay me down to sleep. The master of dreams, my soul to keep. 6 question marks. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Two notes before that. Motherfucker, the Dream Master? Come on, dude. Don't you know about the Dream Master? No, because no one calls lucid dreaming anything like that. God, I hate the lore in this movie.
Noah
bad.
says.
Maybe that's what they called lucid dreaming back then.
Yeah,
The
back in the
Dream
80s,
Master.
they were just like, do we want to get a professional vote on this? I can call my mom real quick and then hang up abruptly.
Yeah, do it.
I'm always down for a good
Okay.
old. Wait, is it what night is it? Is she?
Today's
She's free.
it's a Thursday.
She quit her job, remember?
Oh, she quit her job. Okay,
She didn't
we can
actually
call
quit
her.
her
She didn't
job,
actually
but like,
quit
you
that
know,
job,
she's
but
free
she doesn't
now.
work
I
Thursday.
wish
you
she
guys,
would.
all right, y'all might not be able to hear, but
I can hear that.
I can hear the ringing.
Yeah.
First time
This is a
podcast
great
guest.
bit.
isn't
Hey,
it?
hey, really super important question. Back in the 80s when you were alive,
In the 80s, I was barely alive.
I don't give a shit. This isn't important right now, okay? Back in the 80s, 88 specifically, I guess.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me put you on speaker because I'm with Ellen. Nobody else is around, though.
Oh,
Hold
thank
on.
God. Okay. Hi, Ellen. Welcome to the podcast. Linda, you're here too.
Oh, boy. Okay, back in the 80s when I was barely a baby.
She was born in
I'm just
1960.
telling you.
Old ass Linda, born in 63. Back when Linda was born in the 40s. Okay.
Hey,
So, sorry, I didn't mean to. Back when Linda was born in the year 2008. What do you want me to say? I got to tell the truth. Back
Anyway.
in 47.
People need the truth.
All right. Okay, so, ready?
Yeah,
Back in the day,
yeah.
you're familiar with the concept of lucid dreaming, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, back in the 80s, did they call that the Dream Master?
No.
I didn't think so. You know, it sounded wrong
Thanks.
when we all
Bye.
said it,
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks,
but
Linda.
so glad
Noah
we got someone we
says-
can call about these things.
Back
Our
to the
cultural
notes.
consultant.
Yeah.
Cultural consultant Linda, who was alive in the 80s.
Noah says, I literally can't stand this Dream Master shit. Like, this is a philosophy class type thing, and there's no way it would be in a high school class, right? This dude
Yeah.
is teaching it like it's history or something.
And he's like talking about how it's gonna be on the test, and what he has just
Yeah.
said is some people in the past used to think that there were good dreams and there were bad dreams, and they were like behind doors or some shit. This will be on the test. Like,
Yeah.
True or false? Did people used to think there were only good dreams?
yeah, like what kind of a test is
False.
this that they're preparing for? Right?
Who even knows?
Noah says, I'm skipping all of the like kind of mellow middling notes just to read his angry notes for this one.
sure.
Noah says, I also hate his dork ass lines about being a Dreamgate guardian or whatever that one history professor was talking about. Then there's a break, and then the last note is ass movie, TBH.
Yeah, I remember that Dreamgate scandal. It was a huge thing for Freddy's public image at the time.
Yeah.
Good.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, we watched this movie and we talked about it.
Man, you know how many notes I took between Rick dying and the end of the movie?
Like 2.
How many?
7.
Wow.
yeah,
Only 7 notes between me noticing there was an upside down 13 in the elevator and thinking, oh, this would be funny to make a joke about Friday the 13th, and
it
the
would be an
end
even
of the
additional
movie.
reference to the number 13.
That is an additional reference to the number 13.
Additional reference
Holy
to the number
shit.
13.
Wow.
Wormodynamics. Okay, let's wrap this episode up.
What's going to
I'm
happen
tired.
if I just cut out the first time that you say wormodynamics and it sounds like it was actually my joke originally? What are you going to do?
I'll be very sad, Jeff. I just need you to know that.
Okay.
There
I
will
can
be
live with
no
that.
physical repercussions, but I'm gonna. You know that picture of Tigger walking away sad that Edge posted to the group chat earlier that made us all feel like shit for recording and not being able to play with her
Aw,
or hang out?
yeah.
That's how I'm gonna be if you cut Wormodynamics.
Okay. What if I cut out every time that anyone says painstakingly?
You can just censor it, and then people will be like,
Like, what the hell are
like,
you all saying? the
bad
whole
word
time?
are they saying this entire time?
This Wormo.
It's wormodynamics.
Wait, let me put my arms into my robe and wrap myself up so I look like the worm on the cover of God Emperor Dune real quick.
Oh, yeah.
This is a joke for no one but me.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Next time we'll be talking about Halloween Ends with a special guest, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm
if
so
all works
excited.
out. I am
Aforementioned
very
guilt
excited.
trip Edge.
I have a lot. We all, I think, will have more to talk about with Halloween Ends because
sure.
there's a lot that happens.
I will.
Um,
I'll be less viscerally angry and more disappointed.
yeah. Thanks for
Maybe.
listening. I've been Nina, and I will continue to be Nina. You can find me at Nina Wolverina on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram, where I post art. And sometimes I'll post links to a story that I've been writing that's a vampire gothic horror romance. It's very short. We're about a third of the way through. There are 5 chapters up so far. Yeah, you can
I
find
would
links
not
to that in my
describe
bio.
15 chapters as short.
Wouldn't you?
15,000 word chapters. Like
15,000
1,000 to
word
2,000.
chapters.
Wow, it's so long.
No, usually, so in my fantasy books, chapters are 4,000 to 6,000 words. And then in this one, chapters are 1,000 to 2,000 words.
Hmm.
So
What about that one chapter in the Creed of Gethin where the whole chapter just said Jesus wept? How many words was that?
oh,
I
don't
think,
fuck
Three.
it. That
I think
was
it's...
that's a really good idea that I could have used in the third book, but now I can't because I
You
feel
still have time.
I do. I still have time to work it in. But no, I've got that. That's still being posted. 5 chapters are out, which is a pretty solid start. If you haven't started it for any reason, this is now a good time to kind of jump in, I think. Anyway, thank
Yeah.
you guys for listening. Also with me is Noah.
Firstly, make sure to follow Nina on Tumblr so that around Easter you also can get scared when somehow Jesus returned.
Yeah, that's Nina Wolverina with a 3 where the E ought to go.
Yeah.
I am Noah, and you can find me as Bubbadabad, Bubbadabad, on Twitch, Instagram, and Blue Sky, and Tumblr, and Letterboxd. Man, I gotta find a better way to do it. Twitch, Twitter, and Insta flowed. So,
Yeah.
firstly, fuck you, Elon, for ruining my old favorite social media site, and also ruining my sign-off line.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy. Anyway, I'm not really posting anywhere anymore. I'm not gonna lie, the death of Twitter kind of took me out of the internet, but I watch things. I'm present. So, you know, if you post things, I'll see them.
Wow.
Maybe.
Noah's reading your posts.
Sometimes.
Every time
Follow
you
me
post,
first so I know
Noah's
to
there
lurk.
reading it.
That's how I am in Nina's Discord server. I'm like the eternally present lurk mod. And I don't think
Yeah.
people realize I do read almost every post in that server.
Ooh.
Well,
because,
now they know.
Well, they don't because none of them listen to this podcast. Ayo.
That's not true. At least 2 of them do.
Oh, God.
God
no.
damn it.
Really?
Maybe
Oh,
even
gosh.
3.
You
Yeah.
didn't hear that.
I know that Wormodynamics does. I know
Wormo doesn't count.
I know
Wormo's here.
Wormodynamics skips around depending on whether or not he's seen the movie we're talking about or not.
Oh, sure,
And
understandable.
I think Wormodynamic might. Wormo has referenced
God,
the
I don't even know
podcast
who
more than
that
once.
is.
Please cut this
Wow.
part out of the podcast. The part where Nina mentions some people listen is fine, but as soon as we name drop people,
Yeah, start cutting that. Yeah, for sure.
don't.
I'll
Yeah.
replace
Anyway.
them all with Wormodynamics.
Wormodynamics listens. Wormodynamics cuts around from time.
Yeah.
But anyway, who else is here today? Emma's here today.
Hi, it's me, Emma, also known as Emma Panada. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Twitch, Twitter, Emma Panada. I'm also writing a TTRPG called All the Witches. You can find information about that at allthewitches_ on twitter.com or on Blue Sky. I haven't posted in quite a long time because things going to shit on Twitter has just kind of killed my momentum for wanting to use social media at all.
Understandable.
But I need to get back into that. But yeah, that's me.
And you can find me, Jeff, on Tumblr at What Is It You Pray For, allegedly on Letterboxd at The Fakest Fan. And the final fun fact from this podcast is, you know the Freddy dying sequence at the end with a little bit more body horror there, where there's just like those
Yeah.
boobs coming out of his torso for a second? That's Linnea Quigley,
Yeah.
who listeners such as Mia might recognize from Return of the Living Dead, among other movies.
Oh. Interesting.
More you know.
Yeah.
Huh.
More you know.
And then
thanks,
wait,
everybody.
wait. Hold on. We also have a podcast Discord and a podcast Tumblr
Oh, we do,
at
yeah.
Casual Horror Pod on Tumblr. Please follow it. I reblog things there.
Yeah. Hit us up if you want to link to the Discord.
And please hit us up if you want to link to the Discord because we would love to share it.
Yeah.
The Discord is great.
Yeah. You'll see me posting my thoughts about a show that I'm watching that I can't talk about.
That's right.
Because strikes.
Yeah. When we're in the Discord, it's amongst friends, but we're not going to promote anything here. So if you want to hear
If you're in the
certain
Discord, you're our
thoughts-
friend. If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard it
Do you
here
wanna be
first,
our
folks.
friend?
Do you want to be our
if you
friend?
give me
Join the
$10 a
Discord.
month, I'm now
Genuinely-
your personal friend.
Genuinely
friend
though,
Ian.
if you're in
How'd
the
it go?
Discord, you have
Freddie?
graduated beyond listener to community member / friend. So
Buddy
Yeah.
at the very
buddy,
least.
at the
True.
very least, I will call you buddy.
Pals,
Anyway.
A good guy, as it were.
Anyway, bye guys.
Goodbye.
Giant foghorn.
There's the foghorn.
End of the episode, bitch.